Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone, it's Michael here again, and thank you for joining me for today's French video. I hope you enjoyed my last video about the French language, which was an introduction to the language, and if you haven't seen it yet, you'll find the link in the description below today's video. Also, please like, subscribe and share the channel if you can. Every bit of support we get is linked in the description below today's video. Also, please like, subscribe and share the channel if you can. Every bit of support we get is greatly appreciated. And if you have any comments, suggestions or questions, please leave them in the comment section below the video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 essential French phrases that every person needs. These phrases are incredibly common and they are used all of the time. And you'll find them incredibly useful if you try to use them and memorise them. And I also said in my last video that French-speaking people, native French-speaking people, they really appreciate it when you make an effort to use and to speak the language. So if you have the confidence to use even 1 or 2 of these phrases with a native French speaker, you'll see how much they appreciate your effort to learn and to speak the French language. You'll also discover that with these phrases that I'm sharing in today's video, you can actually get quite far. So you can actually get a lot of information or get a lot of help just by using these basic words and phrases. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the first essential phrase that you'll need if you're visiting a French-speaking country is the phrase to say "excuse me" if you need to attract someone's attention in order to ask them a question or ask for their help. And the way you say that is actually very similar to the English. So in English we say "excuse me," and in French they say "excusez-moi." Excusez-moi. Now, it's not quite X at the beginning, it's X. It's excusez-moi. You don't really hear the beginning E, and this is something that's quite common in French, so certain sounds are very difficult to hear in the pronunciation of the word. So, excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. So, give that one a try. Excuse me. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. And in French, it's normally polite when you say excusez-moi to add the word for sir or madam with it as well. That's especially true if the person you're talking to is much older, but if it's someone you don't know, if it's a stranger, French will normally add the words for sir and madam as well. Now, you probably heard these words before because again, they are very common. The word for sir or Mr. is monsieur. Monsieur. Now, you can see in the spelling it's monsieur. Monsieur. And however, French people wouldn't pronounce it like that. They wouldn't say monsieur. They would say monsieur. So again, you don't really hear the O sound in the mon part of the word. Monsieur. And the French word for Mrs., Miss, or Madam is Madame. Madame. So, can you work out how to say "excuse me, sir" and "excuse me, madam"? If you said "excusez-moi, monsieur" and "excusez-moi, madame," then that's absolutely perfect. That's exactly correct. So these are very common phrases and very useful phrases if you need to attract someone's attention in order to ask them a question. Now, when you say "excuse me, sir" or "excuse me, madam," the person will probably reply with "oui." Oui. And "oui" again is a very common word and you've probably heard it even if you don't know what it means, and it simply means yes. So you can use "oui" in the same way that we use "yes" in English. You can either say it with a little bit of a question when someone says "excuse me," like "yes, what can I do for you?" Or you can use it in reply to a question that someone asks you. Yes. Oui. Okay. So, give that one a try. Oui. Oui. So, you can try it both ways, with the question and with the answer. Oui. Oui. And The next essential phrase that you'll probably need in French is the expression for please. And again, it's very common, so you may have heard it before. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. And s'il vous plaît literally means if it pleases you. If it pleases you, and that's why it's used for the word please. S'il vous plaît. And s'il vous plaît is an incredibly useful expression in French, and one of the most versatile, because it can actually let you do so much in the French language just with a few words. So the easiest way to ask for something in French, either for directions to a place or to ask for food and drink, for example, or ask for something in a shop, is just to say the name of the thing followed by s'il vous plaît. You don't need any complicated expressions like can you please tell me how to get to wherever, or could I please have whatever. You can simply say the name of the thing followed by s'il vous plaît, and in French that is enough to get you something that you're looking for or get you directions to a place. So let's give please a try. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. Okay, so as I said, you can use this expression in order to ask for directions to a place or to order food and drink, for example. So if we imagine that we have landed in the airport, we are in Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, for example, and we are looking for the exit, the way out, but we can't find it. Now, the exit in French is la sortie. La sortie. Okay, and in order to ask someone, excuse me, can you tell me where the exit is? For example, in French, you would simply say, excuse me, sir, or excuse me, madame, the exit, please. That's all you need. So, can you work out how to say that? Excuse me, sir, or excuse me, madame, the exit, please. So, if you said, excusez-moi, monsieur, or excusez-moi, madame, la sortie, s'il vous plaît, then you were absolutely correct. La sortie, s'il vous plaît. Excusez-moi, monsieur, la sortie, s'il vous plaît. Excusez-moi, madame, la sortie, s'il vous plaît. And it's similar if you're ordering food or drink from a restaurant or from a bar. So if you want a beer, for example, which is une bière, almost the same as English, une bière, instead of saying, excuse me, could I please have, then you can simply say, excuse me, a beer, please. Excusez-moi, une bière, s'il vous plaît. And in French, that is enough just to ask for directions to a place, or ask for food or drink, or for something in a shop. You can simply say the name of the place or the name of the thing, followed by s'il vous plaît. So, s'il vous plaît is incredibly useful, and you can get very far just by using that expression. Okay, the next useful expression is going to become one of your best friends when you start to communicate with native French speakers. French speakers have a reputation for speaking very fast and for running their words into each other, so they can be very difficult to understand, especially if you're a beginner in the language. And because French can be difficult to understand at the beginning, then it's probable that you're going to need the expression I don't understand. And I don't understand, again, a very common expression, so one you may have heard before, is je ne comprends pas. Je ne comprends pas. Okay. Now, in very formal French, it would be je ne comprends pas, but very often in spoken French, they leave out the word ne, so it's just je comprends pas. You can say both, it doesn't matter, but je comprends pas is very common in spoken French. So the pas or the ne and the pas mean not or don't, and je comprends means I understand. So when you put them together, you have I don't understand. Je ne comprends pas, je ne comprends pas, or je comprends pas. So give that one a try. I don't understand. Je comprends pas. Je comprends pas. You can also combine that with excusez-moi, which we had at the beginning of the video, because excusez-moi, as well as meaning excuse me, can also mean sorry. So you could say excusez-moi, je ne comprends pas, or excusez-moi, je comprends pas, and that would mean sorry, I don't understand. So as I said, je comprends pas or je ne comprends pas, this will be one of your best friends when you start learning the French language. Okay. Another useful expression is actually just the opposite. So when you struggle to understand someone at first, but then you do understand what they say because they have repeated it or they've spoken more slowly, then you can simply say, ah, I understand. Ah, je comprends. So all you have to do to say I understand is just take away the ne and the pas from je ne comprends pas. Ah, je comprends. Ah, je comprends. So give that one a try. Ah, I understand. Ah, je comprends. Okay, and you may also want to say thank you. And again, this is an extremely common word in French, so it's one you've probably come across, although you might not know the meaning. And that word is merci. Merci. So give that one a try. Thank you. Merci. Merci. And when you say thank you to a person, they might reply with something. They might reply with one of two things. They might reply either with de rien or pas de problème. De rien or pas de problème. The first one, de rien, means of nothing, and pas again means no or not, and problème, you can probably guess because it's very similar to English, problem. So no problem. So both of those phrases, de rien or pas de problème, mean something like you're welcome, don't mention it, or no problem. And likewise, if someone says thank you, merci, to you, then you could reply with either of those, de rien or pas de problème. So give both of those a try. De rien. De rien. Pas de problème. Pas de problème. And finally, the next essential phrase in French that you need is goodbye. Because in French, even if you have just a short interaction, a very short conversation with someone, it's always polite in French to leave the conversation by saying goodbye. And again, it's a very common expression, so one you might already know, and it's au revoir. Au revoir. Literally, it means until we see again. Au revoir. Au revoir. But it's used for goodbye. So whenever you finish your conversation with someone, whether it's a stranger in the airport or someone in the supermarket or someone who works in a bar or hotel, you should always finish by saying merci, au revoir. Merci, au revoir. So that is the 7 essential French phrases that you can use when you go to a French-speaking country. So let's try putting some of these into practice now. So I'll ask you some questions, and all you have to do to answer is use some of the phrases that we've already talked about in the video. And you can pause the video to give yourself a little bit of thinking time. And I'll also leave a gap so that you can try to answer as well, and then I'll give the correct version too. So let's start with the first one. So how would you say excuse me sir or excuse me madam? Excusez-moi monsieur or excusez-moi madame? Excuse me sir, excuse me madam. Okay, next one. How would you say yes and no? So, yes is oui, and no, I forgot to actually tell you the word for no, but it is very similar to English. It's non, non, with a very nasal sound, non. non. These nasal sounds in French are very common. So yes and no, oui and non. Okay. How do you say please? Please is s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. And by extension, how would you say, excuse me, where is the exit, please? Excusez-moi, la sortie, s'il vous plaît. La sortie, s'il vous plaît. And if you are in a bar, how would you ask for a beer? Excuse me, can I have a beer, please? Excusez-moi, une bière, s'il vous plaît. Because remember, in French, you don't need any complicated phrases to ask for something. You can simply say the name of the place or the name of the thing, followed by s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît. Okay, let's try the next one. How would you say, I don't understand? I don't understand. Well, there are two variations of this, but you could either say je ne comprends pas, or, more common in French speaking, je comprends pas. But both of those are acceptable. And how would you say, ah, I understand, thank you? Ah, je comprends, merci. Ah, je comprends, merci. Also, how would you say, again, there are two forms you can use for this. How would you say, don't mention it, you're welcome, or no problem? So you could either use de rien, or pas de problème, pas de problème. You could use both. So, de rien, or pas de problème. And finally, how would you say goodbye? Because remember, in French, it's always polite to finish a conversation, even a very short conversation, with goodbye. Au revoir. Au revoir. So, if you got all of those correct, très bien, very well done. Très bien. If you didn't get them all correct, don't worry about it. You can repeat the video, watch the video again, and try the exercise again, because language learning is all about repetition. The more you repeat, the easier it becomes, and the longer you memorise, the longer you retain the information and retain the vocabulary. So if you didn't get them all correct, try again and repeat as many times as you need to. Okay, so that's today's video. 7 essential phrases that you can use in the French language, and as I said, these phrases are incredibly common, and hopefully you have realised, hopefully you can see that these phrases will actually get you quite far in a French speaking country. So even just with these phrases, you can do a lot of things and you can combine them in different ways. That's today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and please share the video if you can. And if you have any comments, suggestions or questions, please leave them in the comments below. Merci, au revoir.